Everybody's present, right?
Yes.
Okay.
One item to review the request from a resident at 1612 North 3rd Avenue to install a basketball court on city-owned property. There's a picture of it, or a print. I haven't been up there. I didn't see this until yesterday. I don't know. Is this a corner house, Bill?
Yeah, Carl, this is on the west side of our Fairview plat up there. This would be the last house up on 3rd Avenue and 16th Street North. And when we were platted, we left an oversized vacant area of land that was dedicated park space up there. And this is part of the area that he wants to use. Right now, there's nothing up there except we do have some overhead power lines in that area. But initially, that area was staged to be part of a trail system we were going to wrap around Fairview. You were going to be able to start off on 16th and 3rd, go up here, and then actually go between the houses of the Fairview pit edge. And there's another lift down there. They wanted to put a trail, and then you could come back up on the south end of Fairview.
Has this resident been there a long time? I suppose they've been there, they just didn't build the house, did they?
I'm guessing they've been up there 4 or 5 years.
Chairman, if I could, I see that in May of 2020, the Park and Rec Department did meet with regard to this issue and essentially made motions to deny the variance that had been requested, but after that, then one of the commissioners asked the city to consider, or said to ask the city to consider selling this property to the owner as opposed to just a variance. And the proceeds would then be utilized for basketball maintenance of courts across town. I guess if we don't have definitive plans to utilize that specific lot for anything, or if you could even split the lot.
It was dedicated on the plat as a park.
It's dedicated parkland, and if you want to sell that, you'd have to go through the legal means of undedicating that. And if I remember right, it used to be a vote of the public,
The vote of the
actually.
public, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think they also alluded to in the Park and Rec minutes that maybe the city should build a basketball court on the lot itself, not on his property, but on the park lot.
I do see that. That would be in a cost of approximately $10,000 to $15,000.
Correct. So it would be something we would have to budget for next year.
So how much property is park property, not just that lot? Everything west of that lot and everything west of it?
There's a strip in there, I think it's about 60, 70 feet wide that goes north and south there. It goes from 16th and 3rd all the way up to the pit edge. It's just leftovers that we really couldn't sell. Again, there's one of the main city feeders that's overhead power in there. So we really need to keep that property. That's why it was kind of made into park space.
Okay. And is that power right across the property or on the edge of the property, or would it?
It's actually on his side of the property, this person. His basketball court would actually be underneath this power, but the power is quite high because it is a city feeder.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know of, other than the court across from Super One North, I'm not sure of a whole lot of other viable courts in town that people play at, to be honest with you, or that are maintained in a fashion that they're even playable. I don't know.
I think there's one over at the Jefferson School.
Jefferson School? That I
There's the hockey rink, there's the bocce ball court, and I think Dare did put basketball courts in there when they did their thing back about 10, 15 years ago. I know they put them in Southside Park, they put one up in Midway, and I think there's one up in Jefferson also.
There is.
Guess I really haven't inventoried that. The only one that I really knew about that I've seen people playing at is because I go to the grocery store often, so that's why I've seen them at Super One North. But yeah, a lot of people there. But even that hasn't been well maintained in terms of like keeping the baskets in order and nets on it and so on and so forth. But this would essentially be a private lot. I mean, a private court.
Yeah, he was gonna pay to build it, and pay to maintain it. It would be his court.
There be liability for the city?
City's always liable on the back end. I mean, you hate to say it, we may not be first, second, or third, but we're always listed if something does happen up there. And the only other thing I'd bring to your attention, if you do allow to move ahead with it, that you think how we can get back out of it on the back end too. You know, he's building it for his kids now. Kids grow up, it goes away, gets dilapidated. Who's gonna pay to either upkeep it or actually remove it on the back end?
I guess my initial thought would be to maintain it as park property and with potential consideration of utilization of it as a basketball court for the public at some point, potentially. Since it is designated park property, that would be an appropriate use for it. But at this point in time, we don't have the money, I'm assuming, to do that right now. We could potentially budget for such.
I just had a discussion with Sherry yesterday about we usually budget for playground equipment every year, and usually about $10,000 to $15,000. And she said, is there any other parks that need equipment? I said, I think at this moment, we're okay. I don't think we need that. So it would be a good time to budget for something else, that $10,000 to $15,000.
He would buy that, though, his own money, right? Court, the nets. We wouldn't have to do anything except give him the approval, right? And he don't want us to pay for the nets.
That was what Park and Rec suggested, is that maybe the city builds the court on the park property, not on his property, but on the park property, which is right next to his property.
That's what he wants.
He would be okay with that, but he preferred he wanted to build the court. He wants to buy the property and we can't sell it because it's dedicated park, but
Well, what, we could legally sell it to him for $1, then it takes us off?
we can't sell it,
Cannot sell that.
cannot sell it. It would take a vote of the public. We'd have to go to the election. I think Counselor Beyondich might have a question or something to comment.
What if he decides to
Thank
put?
you. Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Maya.
When I'm looking at this, it appears to be half and half on the properties. And I was wondering, you just kind of brought up the point I was going to talk about. Is he willing to put this in the back corner of his lot? On the far, on the corner in his backyard on his property? And do we maintain that property right now as it's designated? Is there maintenance done on that piece of property now?
The only maintenance we do up there right now, I believe, is we go up and mow it. That's about it.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm looking at this and it's half and half, and there is the point that what will happen to it afterwards if it's not utilized. But as long as the city is cutting the grass now, that, I guess I'd rather see it either on one property or the other and not split.
I guess I
That's
would,
all I have. Thanks.
I guess I would be willing to make a motion to maintain it as city park property. And then with further, consideration of the possibility of eventually creating a park there that includes a basketball court. But at this point, I think, like, given the recommendations of the Park and Rec Commission and the issues that we would run into with having to have public involved to sell that property, the potential maintenance issues of the future, I would suggest that we do not sell the property or provide a variance for that, but maintain it as park property with the intent and hope that at some point it could be made into a park that includes a basketball court.
Support that. Motion. What does Mia think?
I have Counselor Barnes always asking if you support the motion. That's a yes?
Can you read that motion back?
Motion is to maintain the city property, not to sell the parcel at this time, but to consider for future park, possibly basketball court or whatever. Is that correct, Gary?
We would maintain.
Yes.
If we build something there, we would be responsible for maintaining it. But in the scheme of park, basketball courts are the easiest ones to maintain. It's not equipment, it's not a lot of materials.
Okay. Okay, I would second that motion. I agree with that, yes.
Thank you. You want to do a roll call, Carl, or all those in favor?
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
I don't know if you heard that, Counselor Beyondich. She asked, all those in favor say aye.
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 Carries. Motion carries. That was the only item we had on the agenda, so I thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. And do you want me to write a letter back to Mr. Lampa? Bill? Either one, because we should probably copy the Park and Rec Commission so they know where we're going with it too, so that they know we did address it. So thank you, thank you. Thank you, Pam. Meeting
You bet,
adjourned.
thanks.
Meeting adjourned at 8:48.
Okay,
Would we
sounds
vote on,
good.
would
See you
describe,
tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah, it'll go to,
at our meeting on Tuesday, would we?
thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.